welcome aboard, everyone, from the crossroads of America, Indianapolis, Indiana. It is your host, conductor, and founder on this wild ride, Demetrius Villa. Welcome aboard, everybody. Hope you all can hear me. Gonna have a nice, comfy stream. It is officially the first day of Advent, not Christmas, Advent. We're still there, but you can put on your Christmas decoration. So now that we have finished Thanksgiving and we have done that holiday, now we can go to Christmas. Now you are allowed to put on Christmas stuff. Thank you, everybody. Hello, Osman Hussein from Cupertino, California. Welcome aboard. Hello, everybody in the Discord. David, Brightline fan, Star Force, and anybody else who's listening around. Welcome aboard. Thank you for coming. Can't hear me on Discord. Let's try to get this going on Discord over here once again. I don't know what is going on with Discord, but oh man. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's try this again. End the stage, start the stage, live stream, and there we go. You gotta love technology, don't you guys? Okay, hopefully now you guys can hear me on Discord because the little green thing is going. So if that's going, it's gotta work. I'm hoping it's gotta work. Hello, Tomo-kun. Thank you all for joining in. Hope your Thanksgiving was well. Did you hear that the Avalia Liberties is supposed to start service in spring of 2025? Yes, we did. Thank you. Checking in from Teaneck, New Jersey. All the way from Jersey, man. Welcome aboard. Yeah, thanks for the shout out for Advent, William McKinley. Yeah, exactly. It is Advent. So, first Sunday of Advent. I hope you all are having a blessed, wonderful time. It's time of year, and it's nice and chilly up here in the Midwest. Got sprinkled with snow. It's really nice, so I'm enjoying it. Hopefully, we're going to have a nice little stream over here for you guys. We're going to talk about, we're going to make it bright. This is time for Christmas. We're going to make it bright over here. You can't hear me. Can't hear me on Discord, or can't hear me on, let's see. Okay, I hear you, get it. Okay. All right, so you guys can't hear me on Discord. Let's make sure this is working, because we're going to be talking about future technology, and future technology is not working so well. Okay, so you do hear me. Brightline fan, can you hear me on YouTube? Let me make sure that I'm hearing myself. The final arbiter in this is myself over here, and just making sure that my actual stream is working. Future technology is not working. Okay, there we go. So you can't hear me. All right, good. All right, guys. Hello from Woodside, New York. Jose Aguilar. Okay, everybody is good. 5-5. Okay, we're good. Let's get started on here. So, okay, both on YouTube and Discord. Okay, you can't hear me. Good. All right. Let's get going. Okay, because there's a lot of future technology. I know some of you guys can be black-pilled with a whole lot of the stuff out there, but now's the time. Things are switching to our point of view, whether people see it or not. Things are starting to switch. We are way better off in terms of getting this technology on board, in terms of improving passenger rail, getting our infrastructure up to date, much better than we were 10 years ago. Okay? Things are starting to look bleak, but we have more people on board on our side. The public conversation has started to shift away from talking about cars, and the people who were, pushed this whole sort of disaster on the United States are starting on their way out in one way or another. They're on their way out. We're on our way in. So this whole club, and the reason why this started, was to be a beacon of hope for everybody and to talk about this sort of stuff, to give you guys finally the chance to talk about this and to all be equals in this, because this is not about me at all. This is about making this country better. Making America's railroads great again. It doesn't belong to any candidate. It belongs to all of us. So that's what we want to talk about. So let's talk about Brightline. Let's move that off there, and we'll go from there and talk about some of the other cool stuff. And then we'll open it up to everybody in the audience over here. This will be a shorter stream, but it will hit close to home. So Brightline West, going from Las Vegas to the Los Angeles area. Okay, this is right now probably the biggest thing that's going to be coming up in the next 4 to 5 years. So I want to talk about stuff that we can actually achieve in the next 4 to 5 years, infrastructure-wise, all around. Not just about trains. We're going to talk about nuclear energy, because we all love nuclear energy on this channel, and if you don't, press Alt F4 and just go. No, nuclear energy works. Okay, this is not up for debate. Okay, this is a nuclear energy pro thing here only. Okay, so we'll talk about that later. We're gonna talk about supersonic flight. We're gonna talk about maglevs. Okay, all this sort of stuff, and making America's just having better buildings. Okay, because there's some buildings out there, particularly I know Tomo-kun over from Queens talking about this. There's something over in your neck of the woods over in Manhattan that is absolutely disastrous and it needs to stop. So we'll talk about that. Let's go into Brightline over here because this is going to be fantastic if Brightline can actually get this done for it just in time for the LA Olympics, and I have confidence that they'll be able to do it. Why? Because they're the only company that's actually built something. That's really it. They've actually built it. You can ride on it. You can go down to South Florida. You can go down to Central Florida. Ride Brightline between Orlando, Miami, and everywhere else in between. And it's there. And people love it. Okay? But just look at this. Look at how beautiful the interiors are going to be. I mean, we're finally catching up. Everybody talks about how China is far ahead, how Germany is far ahead, how Japan is far ahead. Okay? And I've ridden on Japan Shinkansens. Okay? I will say that Brightline probably tops it in terms of comfort. Mainly because it's a bit more modernized. Okay? Not in terms of speed, but this here is going to catch up in speed to what the Japanese have. This will be incredible. Okay, over 200 miles an hour, 218 miles between Rancho Cucamonga, Victorville, in between, all the way to Las Vegas. Okay, within 90 minutes. Okay, that's going to be pretty crazy. Okay, 2 hours with everything in between, 450 passengers on board. Okay, that's incredible. And look at this this party car over here. Now, Brightline did have renderings. There was supposed to be like a bar car for Brightline over in South Florida. I don't know why that never came to fruition. Maybe they didn't have enough they just didn't want to do it, or there's not enough demand for it. But this will be pretty cool. Definitely between LA and especially to Vegas. This is going to be a party car or a bar car, however you want to call it. I don't know if there's going to be enough space to have a party, but probably is. I mean, look at how wide the aisles are. With enough drinks, anything is possible. So I'll take a drink to that. So let's go from there. High-speed rail production facility will be built in New York. Production there is expected to start in 2026. Okay, so 2 years from now. Okay, they could have built it over in California, continue building it over there, but they're going to retool an entire new facility to build the full-on high-speed rail, and that's going to be pretty cool. And the good thing about it is that it actually broke ground. Here in 2024, actually broke ground, and it's going to start building in 2025. They'll have the trains in production 2026, and they'll be there about much faster than Amtrak got their Avalia Liberties, because we were talking about the Avalia Liberty back in 2017. They did actually get them up and running by about 2020. And because of silly little things like the safety precautions and all that, it's a whole story. But they had to go ahead and test them over and over again, and now they're finally cleared for full-on passenger rail service. It's silly. It really is silly what we have here in the United States, and we've talked about the amount of red tape and the amount of BS regulations that have hampered and hamstrung and broken, kneecapped any sort of forward progress. And it takes a lot to get this done. This could have been built already. This could have been built. Of course, we had the coup, so minus, subtract 2 or 3 years from anything. But things are catching up. Amtrak has finally got up to and surpassed the ridership that they had back in 2019, which was going to be, they were expecting 2020 was going to be the first year ever that Amtrak would have broken even in terms of profit. So you can't hear any more from the neocon right anymore saying that Brightline does Amtrak doesn't make any money. Well, why are we spending any more money with Amtrak? Well, it actually does, and it's still, if you actually separate Amtrak in terms of different services, the Northeast corridor itself. Let's put it this way so you guys on camera can see it. Northeast corridor makes money. The auto train makes money. The Hiawatha between Chicago and Milwaukee, that makes money. Okay, the Surfliner, Southern California, that actually does make a profit. All the there's so many little Amtrak services and larger Amtrak services that make in our own country that do make a profit. Okay, so I don't want to hear from anybody right or left or anything. No, we're talking about dealing in reality. This works. This has been working in every country, and in fact, it worked here in the United States. I don't want to hear that garbage anymore that this doesn't work anymore in the United States. It's ridiculous. We need to get this building. I mean, look at this. This is fantastic if we can get this here. And, you know, flying over that area, it's beautiful. Imagine being on the ground and actually seeing this, you know, in your window and flying by the traffic like this. This picture is perfect over here, by the way. I love this picture here. This needs to be the flag that just needs to be going on here. Yeah, this, you want to be stuck in there? Do you want to be stuck in here, or do you want to be flying through in here? It's not up for debate. And moving past that, talking about the Los Angeles area, because I've been talking about LA ever since going over there. And you know, again, I feel sorry for you guys in California, and I've been making jokes about California for the longest of time. The one thing I will say, it is kind of empty there. I expected a heck of a lot more people. Venice Beach, empty. Hollywood Boulevard, empty. I started making jokes that probably it's Gavin Newsom role-playing as 53 million people to try to make up and say, oh, no, there's still people here in California, but that's a joke that I'm going to expand on another time. I have some plans for that. And speaking of the Bright Line West video, since we're on the topic of that, I'm going to try to secure, if you guys have been listening the last couple of episodes, so someone from Bright Line that I've worked with does remember me. I'm trying to see if I can get the timing set when I get down there to South Florida around Christmas time to try to set up an interview. So it's going to be more delayed, and this is going to be probably something to start off 2025, hit the ground running between the first half of January to get out the Bright Line video. So I'd rather take more time to get this done right, and it's going to look better than having just a Skype interview, you know, or having that. Just being on the ground with somebody, talking to them, interviewing them. Believe me, it's a heck of a lot better, and you get a lot more of a better vibe from the person and a lot more information. It's not as awkward. No matter how much this is going to be happening, or Zoom calls or anything like that, when you actually meet a person face to face, shake their hand, have that physical human contact, you get a lot more in terms of information, in terms of what's planning about. This is gonna be crazy. This is gonna be fun. But let's see where that goes. Either way, I want this video to be an absolute banger. I want this to explode on, bring back the American Rail Club, and with that, it brings our voices up to the forefront. Okay, because I don't want to be talking to on X, screaming out into the ether and not getting our voices heard. I want this to happen. It's not for me. This is for all of us here. We want to get this done. But moving on, talking about the Los Angeles area. If you guys are familiar with any of the LA Metro, the map, there's a lot of gaps in between there. I know recently we talked about that there's basically no way to get to the Dodger Stadium by rail. It's almost impossible, and you have to walk basically 30 minutes across an interstate and multiple blocks to get to the Chinatown station, and that's the closest one to there. I mean, you're walking about half a mile. Now, people don't really want to do that. You want to get train stations as close as possible to the locations, or at least have it that you can have, especially major locations. You want to be next to major locations, but having buses as circulators, again, buses are circulators. Okay, buses do not replace trains. They are circulators. Okay, I don't want to be out of a job either with in terms of buses. So you need everything. There's no way or reason why that we can't have anything. But speaking of, this is from a Chinese developer, Ride, aka BYD. It's BYD, and if you guys don't know what BYD is the largest manufacturer of lithium-ion batteries, especially large-scale lithium-ion batteries for uses in cars in the entire planet. Okay, and they're based in China, of course, and BYD doesn't really stand for anything. YD stood for like the street that they were on, and they if you look on the Wikipedia article, they literally added the B in front to move the company in when they go to any sort of conferences or anything like that, to move up in alphabetical order, so they're top on the list. But this is what we've been talking about. Okay, monorail technology is not new technology. It's been there, but it's been applied a lot outside of Disney World. Okay, we're talking about in just over here in this list: Sao Paulo, Bangkok, Thailand; Cairo, Egypt; Tokyo, Chongqing, China, all over the place. Okay, so monorails are still working. 75-mile-an-hour top speed. This is not the Mickey Mouse monorail. This is a real monorail. Now, granted, we have maglev, and we'll talk a little bit more about maglev, including China too. But imagine something like this, having this in the United States, which is absolutely possible. And the construction cost, of course, is a hell of a lot lower if we actually can do it right. But imagine the Sepulveda corridor in California. Okay, and for those of you who don't know, it's basically this area over here on the 405. There is nothing over here connecting anything in the 405. You have to go all the way around over here on the red line, go over to Union Station, and then go all the way over here if you want to go to like the Santa Monica or something like that. It's a whole way around. So there's a massive corridor right here, that can be served very easily by that. That's it. And you're not taking that much of space in terms of the right-of-way is already there. It doesn't take that much to construct it. And it's something that can happen very easily. Let me see if I can just bring in move this closer so you guys can see it, because I know I'm pointing at it, but you guys can't really see it. So there we go. There you go. So you guys can see it because I can't move it over. There we go. So imagine having that. Okay, that would be pretty incredible to have. Okay, and they can build this before. Look at that, LA 2028. They're already trying to push for the Olympics. I'm pretty sure it can happen. And with the Olympics, this brings in a whole lot of. Wouldn't say that it brings in a whole lot of development per se afterwards long term, because there's so many Olympic villages and Olympic construction all over the planet that's just completely empty, particularly in China or Brazil or London and probably in Paris right now. But Los Angeles, the thing about Los Angeles is that it already has the facilities, all the sporting facilities, so they're not going to really build that much. They may take a lot of that money to just go ahead and build out a lot of the stuff that they already have. And just build that up, because like this purple line over here, I saw this under construction in Century City, and I'll show videos of that when I start to talk about Los Angeles into more detail. But yeah, and there's just so many empty spaces over here. I mean, just talking about Los Angeles in general, there's just so much area. If I can see if I can find it over here, there we are. Look at the problem with the zoning. This is a big issue here in the United States. Is our zoning is just all over the place. Okay, and this is the problem. This is what turns what used to be small, very close-knit towns into suburbs. This is what destroys farmland. This is what destroys forests and forested areas around the United States. Is this very silly way that we zone and code here in the United States. And it didn't used to be like this. Okay, the people wanting to zone stuff like this in the United States are mainly NIMBYs. Okay, mainly older NIMBYs that just want to be left alone. I don't want anything built in their backyard. They want to have endless suburbs between endless suburbs. And when you look at a place like Los Angeles, the sprawl is ridiculous. I mean, if they could, they would tear down the San Gabriel Mountains if they wanted to. This thing would look like Dallas or Houston, where it's just endless sprawl. Okay, the joke could be that Dallas would sprawl out into San Antonio and Houston if it could. But this is ridiculous. This is why it costs so much. And then when they do build something, it's these ugly 5/1s, these silly Texas donuts You know what I'm talking about. They're built out of basically plywood. They're 5 stories tall. They have a giant freaking. It's a poor excuse for any sort of mixed use development. They have a giant parking lot, garage in the middle, and they're empty half the time. They're built all over cities. There's like several over here in Indianapolis. You'll see them in Miami. You'll see them everywhere. They're all over the place. Okay, but this is the reason why we need to turn this more into more of the blue areas, because this you can have the red areas over here. You can have single family residential, but you don't want to have single family residential so close to the urban areas and inside the urban areas. This is not sustainable at all. I mean, look here. This is central Los Angeles over here. So this was already built out before they started building away all over here. And then you start going into Hollywood, Beverly Hills, around over here, and everything else. And there's the Sepulveda Valley, the 405 over here. Okay, that's going to be the problem. Okay, luckily it's the 405, so there's nothing built over here, and they can complain that it's an eyesore, but the 405 itself is already an eyesore. So let's not talk about that. Going back into China, this recently made it big on Twitter because or X. It's X. It's Elon Musk's personal. Look, whatever you think about Elon Musk, I already have my things about Elon Musk. I told you how I feel about him. He's a radical centrist. Okay, he's gonna do what Elon Musk is gonna do, and just hope he doesn't turn on you. That's just what it is, I guess. At this rate. But here's the thing: is that he is 100% on board of getting America at least back together. So at least while he's on that, let's at least push this forward. So look at this. China's train surpasses plane speed while U.S. kills its potential with useless regulations. China's next-gen maglev trains capable of reaching 1,000 kilometers an hour or 760 miles an hour, about for 762. Let's be exact, 762 miles an hour for us Americans, which is basically Mach 1. Aimed to outpace airplanes using magnetic levitation and near vacuum tubes. Does that sound like the a better version of the Hyperloop, basically? Now, let's be honest. There's really no need to have near vacuum tubes at that speed, because the issue is, again, you want to make sure. Japan already has this. And China already has this too. China has this between the Shanghai airport and the city of Shanghai itself. The Pudong Airport to Shanghai city. It's called the Shanghai maglev. It's there. It goes 311 miles an hour. And Japan has the superconducting maglev. Different technology, slightly different, but it's all based on the principle of magnetic levitation and magnetic propulsion. Basically, you have magnets that push the train up and magnets that put the train forward. So imagine a motor, which any sort of electric motor is basically a whole bunch of magnets put together, and you're just making that flat out. Okay, so all of this are just opposing magnets, south and north, south and north, south and north, polar magnets. You induce electricity into that, and boom. That's basically all it is. There's no friction, nothing like that. So at a speed of 300 miles an hour, you're already cutting off a lot of market share away from airplanes and automobiles. This is absolutely possible. Okay? In fact, let me go over here and I can show you what we were trying to build here in the United States. And I've brought this guy on a couple times talking about this from the Northeast maglev. Let's see if I can bring that up. There we are. So imagine going from Washington, D.C. to New York City in an hour. In an hour. This has been on the pipeline for years. Okay? We've talked to the people who run this organization. Okay? This is 100% possible to have here in the United States. I mean, could you imagine if we were able to build this over here? 300 miles an hour, Washington, D.C. to New York City in an hour, and you can get to Boston within less than 2. It's incredible. It's incredible that this technology exists and we can't build it here. It takes way too long to build it. Okay, they're already they have to get the look at the status over here. They probably haven't updated the website in a good bit, but it's going to take years to get the federal environmental impact study done, if they actually are doing it, because it's the middle of 2024, so we're already over here. So I don't know if this is actually getting done. I'll have to catch up with this, but this is ridiculous. Okay, we can't build anything here in the United States anymore. And meanwhile, look at what China is. They have developed their own maglevs. We have to go to Japan. We have to get Japanese technology to get it, and there's nothing wrong with that. This is just the facts of the matter, that we don't have our own development over here. Imagine if all you guys watching, okay, all the engineers that are watching, okay, imagine if the United States government, instead of letting you be in a job that's not using your full potential, imagine if they were able to pluck you out and say, we will give you a family wage, we will pay you 6 figures if you can help us figure this out, and we will move heaven and earth to get this done and build a team. Okay, Manhattan Project, NASA type of style sort of stuff, because that's what the United States used to do. Okay, they used to do that. They used to test folks all over the place. I mean, if you were a corn farmer in Iowa, the son of a corn farmer in Iowa, and you had an IQ of 140, they wanted to pluck you out. Like, this guy knows his stuff. He can be taught. He has a brain. He can build this. That's the type of stuff that we want to have in the United States again. Okay, and the reason why we don't do that is because it's just sad. I mean, look at what this can be able to do. Okay, I mean, it's insane. Anyway, I'll bring this over and look at the energy use over here. If you see this, look, it uses just a fraction of the energy of a Boeing 777, Boeing's 777. Okay, a lot less than the cars taken to take what, the same amount of people. You're using a fraction of the energy. Okay. Now, speaking about energy, okay, well, let's talk about energy. So there's something that's called small modular reactors, or nuclear power, right? So we've talked about nuclear power here on the club multiple times. We've talked about how nuclear power was basically killed by the oil companies in the United States, okay, using multiple layers. And let me bring that list just again. Let's bring that over here. So for those of you who are new and don't know about this, I bring this over. Okay. So here's environmental progress. Corporate and energy interest funding for anti-nuclear groups. Okay, when you actually go into this, you actually see who's against. Why wouldn't they have? Why can't we have nuclear energy? Well, because you have public interest in lobbyist groups that are trying to kill in every way possible, just like we've seen with high-speed rail. Okay, you literally had in the 1980s Southwest Airlines lobby to kill the Texas Triangle high-speed rail project because it would directly affect their own competitiveness and their own bottom line. I thought we were a free country of capitalism and laissez-faire economics. Now, you don't want laissez-faire economics because the hand of the free market are going to be people who don't. This is what happens. This is a free hand right here. Okay, Sierra Club has taken $136 million from natural gas and renewable interests that stand to profit from the closure of nuclear plants. Natural Resource Defense Council, there you go, $70 million from oil companies. Environmental Defense Funds, $60 million from oil, gas, and renewables investors who would directly benefit from EDF's anti-nuclear advocacy. So there you go. All this Greenpeace. Greenpeace is taken. They refuse to tell you how much, but they've probably taken millions of dollars to kill nuclear power. Nuclear power is the cheapest, the cleanest, and yes, the safest form of energy that we have at our fingertips. Okay, believing the silliness of the fear mongering or the like stuff like Fukushima and stuff like it's ridiculous because again, when you actually look at what caused those, more people have been killed by coal power plants and oil power plants than nuclear energy. 3 Mile Island, nobody was actually killed in 3 Mile Island. Okay, people were killed trying to get out of 3 Mile Island from the panic, but nobody was actually killed in 3 Mile Island. Okay, France has 80% of the country, about 80% of the country, Now they've been starting to shut them down, being forced by the EU, which is basically German Germany running it. Been forced to shut down a nuclear power plant, but you have high speed rail that's all powered by nuclear energy. So we can do the same sort of thing over here, okay? Especially with small modular reactors. They are designed in such a way that it prevents a massive meltdown. It's in the design itself that it won't allow for a massive meltdown, and it's self-contained. So this is something that we can be able to push in the United States. It took a long time, but it now has been. It's been approved now. I mean, it only took 10 years to get it going, but you can read through it. I mean, it's there. So we have that available. And here you go. General Electric. Vernova small nuclear reactors could play a role in developing more nuclear power over the next decade. General Electric spinoff is targeting more than $2 billion in annual revenue from its small reactor business by the mid-2030s. We can get that faster if we wanted to. The company sees demand for as many as 57 small reactors in total across its target markets, the US, Canada, and the UK and Europe by 2035. In addition to active conversations with utilities to build an order book, GE Vernova is also seeking interest in major tech companies. So there you go. Look at this. We have this over here. The U.S. government wants to triple nuclear power by 2050. Make it by 2040. Let's bring it back. To shore up 2035. How about 2035? To shore up an electric grid that is under growing pressure from surging power demand. Why do we have surging power demand? Well, the government has pushed to bring in electric cars, but we don't have the capacity for everybody to have, let alone that electric cars are not inexpensive enough for the average American citizen to be able to afford. They're not affordable. Okay, nobody can really afford an electric car. Most people cannot. Okay, but look at this. It's designed simpler, simpler design, with fewer components and less concrete and steel compared to a large nuclear power plant. The reactor might cost anywhere in the range of $2 billion to $4 billion to build, compared to 10 to 15 billion for a large nuclear plant. The plant generates 300 megawatts of energy, enough to power more than 200,000 US households. So imagine having something like that here in, let's say, a smaller city or medium-sized city like Indianapolis, with 4 nuclear reactors, and let's say small modular nuclear reactors, one in each corner. But you power more or less the whole city. I mean, that's incredible. And you won't have to spend that much. You can put 4 of these on a site to get the same output as you would from a single large reactor, the executive said. You can have one started deploying energy, making money while you build out others. It gives you a lot of optionality. So there you go. That's the whole modular bit. You want one, you have one starting up, you have another one starting out. It's like when you're building out something in Factorial. Let's be really autistic about it, okay? You have something going on, you start building the rest of it while that process is moving forward, and you can just go from there. I mean, this is insane. We have this available. Okay, we can push this to get this forward. So it's moving forward. They have the process going ahead. They want 20 by 2035, and they want 200 by 2050. Maybe that number can be increased. I don't know. Let's be more aggressive about it. Okay, and the thing is with the safety behind it as well. And let's talk about like NuScale power, even though they're kind of the ones that kind of started this push. But now it's become more like something from GE and some other companies that are now pushing this. I mean, we talked about safety as well. By the way, this website is terrible. The only reason I brought up this whole splash screen takes up the whole screen here. And then you go to menu, it takes up like 80% of the whole screen is taken up. But I mean, like, look at this. Let's see overview of small modular reactors, SMR. There you go. So you can learn more about this, sort of the technology behind this, the safety behind it, and all that sort of stuff. Again, it's much more self-contained. Put simply, it's smaller, and it's a lot more densely packed. That it's not going to cause such a massive, like, worst comes to worst, the meltdown is self-contained. So you don't have to worry too much about the safety bit about it. Okay? But it's incredible the amount of technology we have available. And then let's go outside of that. Let's talk about sonic flight. Because I'm very much a fan of supersonic flight. I've been on the not actually been on the Concorde, but I've been on the actual Concorde plane, not on the service. That's over on the USS Intrepid, in Manhattan. And it's just incredible that we had this technology. This is now like lost technology to us. Supersonic flight, getting into between New York to the UK, within a couple hours. I mean, that's just nuts. We had that. I mean, it's just ridiculous that we went backwards. This was back in the '60s. Back in the '60s, we had it. So you're telling me we've gone backwards? We can't get to the moon. We can't build high speed rail. We can't build anything cool in this country anymore. It's silly. Now, what happened to the Concorde is that after a while, they we're talking about almost at this point, around 2004, the Concorde was just getting expensive to keep up. Okay, and they didn't have enough. The parts to keep it going were getting too expensive, and it was already almost a 30-year-old platform at that point. So we're talking about a plane that's almost 3 decades old, still going faster than anything else that it was around. It's still going faster than anything today. So there's a company called Boom Supersonic to bring this back, and they've already been testing it. A cruise speed of about 1,300 miles per hour, Mach 1.7. Slightly lower than Concorde, the last commercial supersonic airliner. However, that plane turned out to be economically and environmentally unsustainable, and Boom is designing Overture to last. So it's like taking a car. You have an engine that can possibly built out, and this is something that like Toyota used to do, right? You had like Toyota's, probably the best V8 engine that it had, the 3UZ-FE. Okay, beautiful V8 engine. That thing can last 600,000 miles. And there are examples of them going 600,000 miles. Okay? Yes, it could do 400 horsepower. You can put 350 horsepower. But if you tone it down, okay, to maybe get, 70% of that, maybe 300 or 280 horsepower, it's going to last a heck of a lot better. So you don't have to go super fast. But I mean, heck, going 1,300 miles an hour, okay, instead of 1,400 miles an hour, because I believe the Concorde went Mach 1.8, 1.9. They try to stay below Mach 2, but just going at that speed is still a hell of a lot faster than anything else. Okay, so imagine having, you can get high speed rail within the United States. If we were actually cool about it, we could get supersonic flight across the United States, but that's not going to happen without serious major regulation reform. And I don't know if the EPA were to die, which is not going to happen. I mean, come on, everybody remembers the EPA. And I just recently watched Ghostbusters as we're trying to get through like a backlog of Halloween movies before Thanksgiving. The EPA basically almost destroyed New York, right? In the movie. That's basically what everybody remembers the EPA for. Okay, the guy who was the jerk journalist from Die Hard, played the EPA inspector, let out all the ghosts from their basically a small nuclear reactor in New York. Okay, that's what the EPA is known for, making things worse. Okay, but both in fiction and reality. Okay, at this point, we need to tone that down. Okay, because it's hampering us. Why do I need a 4-year study to know that this is better? Why do I need a 4-year study to know that electric magnetic levitating train is a hell of a lot better? There you go. There's the EIS study. This is going to be, it's going to be in there. Green energy, economic benefits, time saving. We know that. Why do I need an EIS study for that? Why do I need to wait 4 years to figure that out? We don't need that. It's nuts. It really is. Okay, and with the technology that we have available, this can be this country can reach a new golden age. We could. It's this mediocrity, this managerial state of mediocrity that we live in. It's just nuts. Congress and NASA have pushed the FAA to revisit its ban. If it's not one agency, it's another. It's not the FRA, if it's not the FTA, if it's not NHTSA, if it's not the FAA or whatever. Look, you need some of these regulations, okay? You don't want people's fingers being put into soup cans and stuff like that. Even though Upton Sinclair's The Jungle was all BS, he basically made up most of it. But regardless, if we're going to be hyperbolic about it, most people can regulate and figure themselves out if you have, intelligent, mature people running it. But look at this. It's have pushed the FAA to revisit its ban on supersonic flight. The speed limit over land remains in place for now. Okay. Meanwhile, the U.S. Military can fly, F-35s at whatever speed and supersonic boom to a degree. And in certain areas, okay, they can't just do it over, wherever. But it's just nuts. Again, now, is this going to be something that we can be able to have for all of us? No. Okay? This is more attainable for us, the common folk, to be able to ride on. Okay? We're not going to be riding, well, darling, I feel like going to London today. I'll just go, have some lunch over in London and be back by midnight. That's not possible. But we're talking about, let's see, from Los Angeles to Las Vegas and then be back in time at midnight. Yeah. And guess what? I've actually done it in Japan. Went from Tokyo in the morning, went to Osaka, had a whole day of fun over in Osaka, went to Universal Studios Japan, went to Dotonbori, went to all over the place, and then came back right before midnight, 11:58, right on the platform, right at home. It's just nuts. Nuts that every other country can be able to have this. Countries that were basically bombed to absolute hell in World War II can be able to build that. And meanwhile, here's the country that was not touched, the country that was on top of the world, decided to shoot itself in the foot, decided to destroy its passenger rail systems, decided to put itself into suburban hell, which suburbans are un-American, and there's a subversive, just absolute nuts, unnecessary. That's the reason why home prices are expensive, because you have upward speculation all over the place on land pricing, not because we don't have enough land. We have plenty of land, but they're figuring out, wait a second, we could just keep putting the prices up and up for homes. That's why I can't afford a home. That's why most of you can't afford a home. So this is the reason why we've been priced out of the market, because it's by design. And believe me, it can get a lot worse. Okay, let's bring a little bit of reality into that. We have so many cool things that we can do over here. Okay, yeah, supersonic. It'd be nice to have, and that's just more of just like having a feather in the hat. Okay, it'd be cool to see that. And granted, it will probably bring down the price of other transatlantic or trans-Pacific flights. I mean, if you had, let's say, New York, Atlanta, Miami, three airports out of the Eastern Corridor can have flights in between to wherever, to London or to Paris or to Berlin. Of course, it's not going to fly supersonic over continental Europe, but it's going to slow down and get there. Or Madrid, whichever. And then you have Seattle, San Francisco, Las Vegas, going to Japan, Shanghai, or Singapore, something like that. It could be done. And that's the thing, it's old tech. Yeah, passengers can rest assured that while the airplane is new, this is not bleeding edge stuff that's never been proven before. This is actually 20-year-old tech. That's what we're talking about here, guys. Okay, a lot of this stuff is not brand spanking new technology. Okay, high-speed rail has been around since 1964. Post-war Japan took about 6 years to R&D it, build it, and use it. But from 1958 to 1964, post-war Japan, okay, was able to build high-speed rail. We're starting to catch up. We have to use everybody else's technology. We're using a German company called Siemens to get this done, because we don't have an American rail company to do it. Now, of course, they're building it in America using Buy America regulation to make sure that it's under that, and American labor, and that's good. But again, not new technology. Okay? Monorails. Not at all new technology. Okay? Walt Disney, Disneyland, Disney World had monorails at the 1950s. the 1950s. Okay? Maglev technology. Japan's been working on superconducting maglev since the 1960s and 70s. Germany's been working on it since before. In fact, the first German maglev was in the turn of the century, the 1900s. This is not new technology. Supersonic flight, again, not at all new technology. Nuclear energy. We've had nuclear energy for several decades. Since the atomic bomb, we've been able to figure out, hey, instead of maybe incinerating people, maybe we can use that sort of energy to actually, I don't know, make energy. There you go. So the whole point is that we have all this this technology that we have available to us. It's at our fingertips. It's there. It's been there for so long. And we're just hampered by just stupid technology or red herrings. Like self-driving cars. We have to look at the root of the problem. Transportation is for moving people and goods. What the problem is, how we've gotten transportation so screwed up in the United States is that we try to find a way to move cars. How can we move cars? Cars don't buy stuff. If anything, the car is just going to be stealing money out of you. Okay? How much money do you have to put into your car to put in gas or to keep the maintenance up? Okay? Luckily for me, I own my car outright. I went ahead and, got a couple, several $1,000s in an envelope and just bought it out. I am not and never will ever to go ahead and tell any of you to go ahead and lease a car or to get a loan to buy a car. That is an absolute mistake. But this is ridiculous now. This is all stuff that can be done by trains. This is stuff that has been done by trains for the last 150 years. Okay? But if you guys haven't seen it, I will go ahead and share this out. And I know I haven't been looking at the comments for so long because I'm on a roll over here. Look at this. Okay? And I will keep saying this. Now, there's a couple things that I will disagree with, not just Spikes on. But he's 95% right in this video. Okay, and it's a long one. It's a doozy. I know. I'd love to get back to doing those sort of videos too. I don't have a whole team of people to be able to do this, and I don't have as much time and available capital to be able to. I would love to get there. Okay, I can certainly do that, but we'll get there, guys. We're slowly, just at least right now, we're just keeping at least on pace, at least for here. Keep the American Rail Club running. And then from there, we're really going to start ramping things in 2025, where we have our own place over here. We're settled. I got my History of Trains poster back there. I got my Midwest High Speed Rail Association poster back there. We are solid. Okay, we got a solid foundation, and we're going to start moving forward from there. Okay, but yeah, this is the type of stuff we can't have here. Okay, there's silly things in this bad technology. Just because it's technology doesn't mean it's good. Okay, there's things that we have here, and this is because we already have all this stuff that can fix this, and we want to make it worse. Let's not do that. Let's not do that at all whatsoever, okay? So, some cool stuff on Twitter, and then we'll be opening up to everybody here in the comments in a little bit. I'm not sure what happened to Discord over here. That is weird. Give me a second over here. What? The Discord just died on me here. There we go. Come on. There we go. Okay, apologies for everybody in Discord. For some reason, it just died. I'm going through a whole thing, and it died on me here. But let's get this going. Let's start this up. We'll be back on here. Apologies for everybody who was on the Discord, and I just disappeared. I don't know how that happened. There we go. Start the stage. Live stream attempt number 2. There we go. Okay. I hope you guys can hear me. Sorry about that. I have no freaking clue why Discord decided to die. It just disappeared. There was no warning or forthwith anything. Nothing. But we're still here, okay? We will be getting to you guys over there, and I'll be looking at the comments before any of that. But yeah, this is... So, as we've said always every single Thanksgiving, every single time, we're always gonna hear it. Oh, this is gonna be the record-breaking amount of travelers this Thanksgiving. So much traffic will be all over the roads. Oh, can America's roads take it? Oh, there's gonna be so many cancellations and delays. This happens every single freaking year. Gee, I wonder. There must be some other form of transportation that could be available to be able to move people without much delays. Well, nah. Let's just keep driving. Let's keep taking airplanes. There you go. Look at this. Here we go again. Every year, America. Good job. Every year. There we go. Look at that. This is it's so silly that we do this every single freaking year. But if this was a good uh I bookmarked this on Twitter. I've been having a little fun on Twitter. Not too much fun, but a little fun. Okay, I should be posting more. But yeah, I mean, look, AI slop is AI slop. It's whatever it is. And that, yeah, I've used AI for thumbnails and stuff like that. I try to hide the silly stuff or just keep going ahead and remaking stuff until I get something that looks good. But yeah, look, this is the type of stuff that, and people know it. It's our obsession with the automobile, our obsession with making places that we can't actually live in. Um, this one hurts. This one's the one that hurts the most. I'd like to start a train company. I'd like you not. There you go. There's the big oil there. Yeah, how much have we been wanting to do that, guys? It's that's what it is. So I like this one. And this one is funny. This one's kind of relevant for today. I'd like to walk. I'd like you to not. Speaking of, it's becoming illegal to walk in the United States. You guys have heard this. Um, but here we go. A mom was arrested for letting her 10-year-old son on a walk alone, just walking along. Now again, America is not at all a walkable place anymore. Everything is overabundant. You have an overabundance of stroads. And half the roads don't even have a sidewalks. They have sad excuses for sidewalks, or you have to. The term I've been calling has been the gutter walker, and you see this a lot where people are jogging in like the suburbs where there's no, there aren't any sort of sidewalk infrastructure at all, and they'll be running in the gutter side of the road, or you see this in industrial areas or office parks or stuff like that. They're running on the gutters. This is what America has become, the gutter walker. We've gone from having, beautiful places like this, beautiful walkable areas, beautiful places like this. Now, Chicago still exists. It's still there. Not as beautiful as it used to be in the 1930s, but this is, here you are, middle America, where, but before we used to be able to walk. I mean, it's going to be Christmas time. If you guys remember, It's a Wonderful Life. George Bailey's walking around all over the place in, small town in New York State, upstate New York, walking around all over the place. You can do that. Modern America can't do that anymore. Get stopped by the blue. By the way, why does every cop now in the United States, it ticks me off, wearing level 3 body armor? They always got their thumbs in their body armor because they're always overweight. They can't figure out whether they're paramilitary or whether they're serving the public, which they're actually not, to protect and serve. They're not actually obligated to protect and serve. But this is just nuts. Modern America and so many things has just gone ridiculous. It's turning to the cops from Idiocracy. We have been. Look at this. And you have the Karen cop. Now, I'm not going to even put in because it's infuriating if you guys have seen this. But yeah, can't walk around. It's arresting her. Excuse me, don't we have like millions of people who have broken the law and come over into this country illegally, and they're actually killing people, and they're driving around without licenses, or they're driving after 10 Modelos deep, drunk driving around the United States? Don't we have actual issues to talk about and actually solve in the United States? Crime has gone up. But no, we have to you know, you went 5 miles an hour over the speed limit. Let's have the paramilitary LARPer cop probably can't even do PT. What a joke. What a freaking joke. Wait, look at this.
I need you to not talk to me, please. Yeah,
You're the mother. That's your responsibility to
yeah,
keep
I
up
need
your
you to not
child.
talk.
Man, this is just nuts. But yeah, look, you know, kid was walking around, not doing anything, and again, I seen the full context of this, and what the police did here was wrong. Okay. Meanwhile, this is what cops used to be before. Oreo, that's a real cop. What happened to good cops in the United States? I mean, look at actual presentable looking. Doesn't look. He doesn't have level 4 plates on him, or 500 Glock magazines on the side. When are you ever going to use 500 Glock magazines? Half of you can't even shoot. When have you actually ever shot 200 rounds? Most cops haven't. In a year, they can't even run a mile without. I mean, if you guys have seen On Patrol Live or like modern cops now, I mean, even in the '90s, cops back in the '90s. You ever seen cops in the '90s, the actual show? They look like that. You wouldn't want to mess with them. And this guy over here, I mean, look at that. Look at how presentable he looks. He looks like he's actually there as a public servant, not as a LARPing whatever. It's the thing. When I'm talking about ugly stuff in America, it's head to toe from our infrastructure all the way up to our public servants. Okay, ugly politicians, ugly police. We had better. We had better. Oh, Richard, you can't talk like that. No, I can't talk like that. I want better. I don't want a mediocre country. Look at this. Okay, this is cool. 1924. Smashing automobiles, yes, but saving lives. Silent policemen were no flex posts. When protecting pedestrians was the end, unyielding mass was the means. That's automatic enforcement, our best tech today can't match. So this is what they had in the middle of streets, because back when the cars came out, it was basically the Wild West. There was little to no regulation. You still had cars, you still had people, so people were still on the roads and walking around all over the place. If you've seen some of those silent movies in New York, there's people just careening around all over the place. It's kind of massive chaos everywhere. But yeah, you had trains, you had streetcars, you had cars, you had people. Cities were still cities, okay? And to combat that, people, speeding right in the middle of intersections, they just put a big, giant freaking post. Okay? That's their technology. And I made something like this. There we are. There's the nerd. We need smart grids to manage vehicle technology, vertically integrating flow through APIs, connected vehicles, and AI technology. Concrete. We need, again, let's go back to simple. Let's go back to simple. Simple cities. Simple transportation. Okay, we don't need this stupidity of this. We don't need this. No, we need some concrete. Okay, we need some freaking concrete, and not California high-speed rail concrete. I mean like real concrete in the middle of there. That's what we need. Oh man, oh man. Speaking of concrete, and I've said this multiple times before. Here's again a couple more posts, and then we're gonna end this and go into our audience, because I see our audience with their hand raised. Okay, I'm sorry, but so I'll go into into the YouTube comments as well. People advocating for public transit must be vocal and unequivocal. Vagrants are not welcome in trains or stations and must be kept out. 110%. Absolutely. Okay. Let's put a couple of these guys in our trains. Okay, these guys don't need 5 Glock magazines. They got a nightstick, and that nightstick will absolutely deal a wallop. That's what they need. Just nightsticks. So quick story. My parents went to Paris back in the 1980s, and they were getting on the Paris metro. And this is what my dad told me. There was a guy that was doing a little bit of graffiti off on the wall, and within 10 seconds, there were 5 Paris cops that came in there. and just started smacking the hell out of him. And my dad swears he's like, I probably heard his bones crack as the doors were closing. That's, you know, look, you have to be tough. You have to be tough. If you want transit where people feel safe, you need to have tough love. Okay? Dude on the San Francisco Mooney train just got on a train and broke. Is it Money or Mooney? Okay, I don't know because I wasn't in San Francisco for that long. I was there for less than 24 hours and I wanted to get the hell out of there. Okay, Los Angeles is definitely a heck of a lot better than San Francisco. And this was back when I went to San Francisco for a layover in 2017. That place has gone downhill, and I can see why people like Elon Musk and the whole PayPal mafia absolutely hate that place and they want to leave. It's just terrible. Got on the train and broke the door on purpose. That's nuts. That's nuts. And I've said it multiple times. Really, the main reason why people in the United States don't use the transit that we already have, like the buses we have, or, you know, the sad excuse for infrastructure that we have, is because of this stuff. They'd rather not deal with it. You can't blame them. You want to have transit. Okay, you have to get, like a place like Singapore. Singapore has multiple different ethnic groups, like the United States. Okay, multicultural place. Guess what? You put gum on the street, they will cane you. They still have corporal punishment, something there in Singapore. That's what it needs. Okay, we don't have that same population like we used to have back when this guy was around. Maybe that's why this guy is dressed like that. You know, he doesn't have to worry about people in Chicago with switch Glocks, giggle switches on Glocks with 50 round mags. Illegal Glock mags, or not illegal Glock mags. The mags are not illegal, but you have 15-year-olds getting Glocks in Illinois. Meanwhile, I can't drive through Illinois unless I put my carry, my concealed carry, in a metal box that has to be locked away and away from me. Yeah, this is why anytime I pass through Illinois, if I'm going to like Missouri or anything like that, I don't stop in Illinois. You don't even deserve my urine. I'm just gonna go right through. Sorry, Illinois, and I feel sorry for everybody in Illinois that has to put up with that stuff, because it's not fair. When 70% of the state is basically Chicagoland. We used to be a place. Speaking of this stuff. Okay, last thing, and then I'm gonna get into this. Okay, America used to have beautiful skylines, and it still does in some places. Okay, but this sort of stuff, this sort of stuff, no, absolutely not. No, this is a. Look at it. You have, there's the Empire State Building over here and the Chrysler Building. You're going to put this in the same area? It's probably going to take forever to build. It's going to take 10 or 15 years to build. No. No, and that was my reply. No. No. If New York City kills the Big Ben, I will never forgive them. I would be glad. That would be the best thing that New York City has ever done in the last several years. No, this cannot exist. I hope you're being facetious here, Statistic Urban. I hope you are. No. No, this would not be cool. No. Yeah, property rights are an essential American freedom. Yeah, my freedom does not extend to building ugly skylines. Okay? I don't want it. This is not freedom. This is an impairment on my freedom. This is ugly. This is objectively ugly. No. No, it's not cool. It's not fun. This is stupid. Build something better. This is nuts. No, absolutely not. This is mediocrity, in a bad, absolutely terrible way. Okay. I mean, and it's low effort too. There's no it's a Big Ben. No. It's a low effort, brainlet idea. Okay? And speaking of low effort stuff, like when it comes to self-driving cars and things like that, I mean, like I said before, I mean, the only reason why that stuff gets quickly put in because you have a commissioner probably in like Los Angeles that will do a little ribbon cutting for Waymo, and then you'll have that picture up in the office over there with three other ribbon cutting pictures. You know, that's all they'll do for their, whatever term that they are in there, because they don't really care about the long-term efforts of the city. They care about climbing the political ladder. They go from commissioner, then they go to state representative, and then they'll run for Congress, and then they try to get up to senator or to governor or whatever. No, be an actual servant to the public. This is not serving the public. This is serving what? So you can have $1 million condos, not even $1 million, multi-million-dollar condos. Imagine living up in this absolute, dystopian, ridiculous. Not even Blade Runner had. At least the buildings in Blade Runner actually had some designs to it. This is terrible. This is low effort. It's not even enough effort for AI. AI would put more effort into a design. This is just, yeah. Somebody took like a paintbrush that has like building blocks and just went like that. I mean, there are 3-year-olds in Minecraft that could build something better, and that's not a joke. It's no, it's nuts. I mean, American cities are like at this point, and how do I put it YouTube friendly? It's a DMV democracy. We don't live in like an actual true republic. Okay, a real republic would just say no. That's ugly and that's not happening. Get this garbage out of my city. Build this. Not this garbage. This is garbage. This is unequivocal, and I can't say it any more than that. It's just garbage. No, I'm right. I don't have opinions. I have facts. That's wrong. That's bad. It's no. Everybody here agreeing with this is wrong. I'm right. You're all wrong. Elon Musk, wrong. Statistic Urban, wrong. No, you're wrong. Property rights, sure, but you don't have the right to build garbage on your property. You don't have the right to put a garbage mound on your property. It's a public nuisance. It's a public eyesore. You know what's crazy is that when I went to Griffith Observatory in Los Angeles, that's what the rich used to build. Okay, the rich actually cared about the country. I know they get misaligned as robber barons. The real robber barons are the rich living nowadays. Billions of dollars of capital lying around, and this is the garbage that people built. I mean, I don't know how we do this. It's like like we're run by dispassionate, unaffected, godless bureaucrats that just rubber stamp stupidity again, so they can get so they can move up the ladder, and they just live. They have objectively no higher purpose but to inconvenience your life and pilfer your money. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about these dispassionate DMV democracy bureaucrats. Okay, we have stuff available. We have cool stuff available. This looks cool. This looks nice. Okay, maybe you're not a fan of modern design, but this looks good. Okay, this is using the best of design and using the best of space. This is actually doing something. This is actually providing something good. This would be good. This would be good. Northeast Maglev. Okay, this would be good. All this stuff that we can do, and there's just bad things. Okay, bad things all over the country. Okay, so I'm telling you guys, we have a lot of good stuff, but we need to batter down. We need more baseball bat nationalism. That's what we need. I don't like your idea. Let's get back to simple basics. It's like that the bell curve. If you've seen that meme of like the brainlet bell curve. Let me see if I can bring that up so I can just give you guys a visual representation of what I'm talking about. I know I've been going off topic. It's 9:11 p.m. and it's a work day tomorrow, but hear me out here. I need to get these ideas out, and I promise you I will get to everybody who's in the audience right now, and I will talk to everybody in the YouTube chat, okay? But this is we need to get these ideas out there, and I know you guys agree with this, okay? Brainlet bell curve meme. Let me see if I can find that. Or it's the midwit bell curve meme. There we go. Okay? I don't care. Look at this this silly this silly Billy. Now get out of here. I don't want your ugly face in there. There you go. Let's talk about this, okay? We're over here. All of us are here for sure, okay? I know I'm over there for sure because I wasn't gifted and all that, and they tested my IQ and everything like that. I'm not going to give you the number, but it's over here in this range, okay? Regardless, okay? We have to get back to a little bit simple. Maybe the guy over here on this point has a point. The midwits are all pushing for this. The midwits and the middling IQ are all pushing, thinking that this is cool, okay? Even people who are not that bright can figure out that's bad. And you know what? Us on this side saying, yeah, that's bad. And we need a little bit more grugness in ourselves, okay? If we don't like something, baseball bat. You're gonna build another 5/1 baseball bat. You're gonna go ahead and NIMBY your way and stop progress, baseball bat. I'm being sarcastic, half tongue in cheek over here, but it's like gotta get a little more aggressive about this. No, bad. Okay, if I saw this design somewhere in the studio, that's the brakata, just like that. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay, it's just bad things. Okay, it's like what are we here for? It's like let's talk about the passion over here. Like we had a country that had passion. Okay, for this stuff. Like the Griffith Observatory was built by a guy who donated millions of dollars. I believe he was an oil baron or something like that. And he said, you know what? I want to keep this nice area over here for the public. I want to protect this area, this nice, beautiful landscape over here. And let's have people look up to the stars, look up to the heavens, up to the heavens, as blessed Archbishop Fulton Sheen said. Okay, that's what we need to do. Okay, what else are we living here on this planet and building stuff? If not for a higher purpose. This is what I'm talking about, the metaphysics of infrastructure. Beautiful buildings, beautiful things make beautiful people. And we have ugly things, it makes ugly people. Ugly things just beget more ugliness. Okay? This is what happens when you have an ugly place filled with ugly people. Okay? That's what I'm talking about. It's more than just the physical thing. Let's put people in big building. No, let's put people in big, beautiful buildings. That's what I'm talking about. Okay? And that's the thing. We need to build it. Build this sort of stuff. Yeah, build it, they will come, but that's the problem, is that our cities just suck. It's like, just give people opportunities. Give our youth opportunity to build something good. Okay? Stop stealing it from the youth. Stop importing more people, taking jobs away from our country's youth. Okay, hampering our own youth, hampering our intelligence in this country. Okay, and no more of this bad faith garbage. Okay, young men, you guys on here and women. Okay, I know my channel, this channel here, and all of you guys over here. It's 98% males. Okay, it's trains. Okay, anything with trains, tanks, all that sort of stuff. Sorry, it's gonna bring in autistic young guys. That's just what it is. And guess what? It was autistic young guys that built this country. Okay, it was geniuses that designed beautiful stuff like you see here in 1930 Chicago. I can't find the actual picture because for some reason I had the actual picture somewhere and I can't find it because it's all freaking put away by stock images. But the guy who took this picture is dead. Who's collecting the rights on this? I mean, look at this. It's just incredible the countries you used to have. Look at that. I guarantee you there wasn't going to be any... why does it have to go to Instagram? Come on, I just wanted to see the picture. Look at that. Beautiful cities that we used to have. Beautiful cities. Okay? But it's a good time as ever to put the rage that we feel about ugly stuff, about a mediocre America. I don't want to live in a mediocre America. You don't want to live in a mediocre America. We're done with this, okay? I believe, I forget the saint, I think it was Alphonsus Liguori, who said that hell is just full of dispassionate people. Okay, if you parade a principle hell, granted, there are people who have taken their passions in the wrong way. And have made terrible, I'm going into a little bit of religiosity here, but this comes down to this: the people who made this, like when we're talking about like Detroit. Look at this. Okay, this statue over here is still in Detroit. I forget the actual name of it, but in one hand is looking up to God, and the other hand is the American family. That's what this country needs to be again. Okay, the greater good, greater unattainable good, and what we have over here. That's what we need to put together. Okay, up to something that, yeah, maybe we can't reach in this life, but that's what we're talking about. It's attain something beautiful that we can be able to do. Because I guarantee you, hell is Pareto principle of this passionate, ugly people. And that's not what this country should be. That's something we can be thankful for if we can just get this going again. But anyway, I digress. Let's move on. Oh, man. There we go. Yes, thank you to that design. The Bauhaus buildings are timeless because they function well. Now, there's just no... there's some Bauhaus buildings that are cool, but that's the thing. Modern design is very easy to mess up. But if you stick to like good design languages like Art Deco, it's not that hard to make something beautiful. It really isn't. And that's the problem. Let me see what else here in the comments that I missed that was interesting. However, I wish Pittsburgh would have had the German maglev a few decades ago. 30, currently working on getting my driver's license, but I think having less people on the highways is a good idea. Absolutely. I would like to travel on high-speed rail, but not anytime soon. We'll get there. We'll get there, guys. To be fair, a pickup truck is very useful. Yeah, it's useful, for sure, but we need, you don't need giant pickups. I mean, what was the last statistic I remember reading? That 90% of the people who own pickups don't even use the pickup bed. Man. Let's see. Extra air conditioners added to more weight on the Concorde due to blowing cold air into the window. Yeah, it's true. Those windows are super thick. If you actually been inside the Concorde, and you can go in the it's like, I think it's like probably an extra $30 now. Because I remember it was like $25 per person, and it's worth it. But just to go ahead and see it and hear from the guys who actually worked on it, because they actually do have somebody who worked on the Concorde or flown the Concorde or was involved with the Concorde actually tell you about the stuff about it. But yeah, those windows are super thick because it gets from just the air resistance alone from the outside going at close to like Mach 1.8. The friction from the air is extremely hot. Yeah, it has to be that way in order to cool down the plane. Man. But anyway, all right. Tomokun disband the EPA. EPA is a joke, yeah. Make America boom again. Yeah, let's go. Hope we can get that sort of success. Yeah, and talking about boom, supersonic. I'm glad you guys are still here. Absolutely, it will take years for own development productive products to match the desired specs of the most successful Japanese designs. Yeah, it's just nuts. This is what I get from not looking at my chat. I'll just go off and not look at the chat here. Disconnected from Discord. I'm going back in here in the chat trying to see anything that was here. If Brightline rests building to Rancho, we need to get into funded modernization of the track from there to LA Union Station so that actually LA to Vegas. I agree. That would be cool to have it to actual Union Station. Olympics are always, yeah, in terms of the amount of debt they put cities into, yeah. I mean, it's a good effort, and the Olympics are fun to watch, but they need to absolutely retool it to not be an absolute burden on the local populace. I like the spirit of the Olympics, but the IOC and the Olympic Committee, yeah, it's extremely corrupt. Extremely corrupt. Let me see, what was this in context to? He's not a career politician. You have to work with what you got. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Talking about Trump, talking about what we have. The thing is that the overall atmosphere on the political spectrum has gotten better. I think we can be able to at least push something. Trump couldn't build a single wall. Don't expect him to build a complex transportation system. Yeah, and I said before, it's the federal government's not going to do it. Maybe we'll get some help from the federal government, some grants here and there. But yeah, all right. I've talked enough. I'm done talking. David, let's bring you on.
Hey, bud, you doing good?
I'm here. I'm good, man. How about you?
Tired, but waiting on my coworker to get off in about 40 minutes
Okay,
before
so
I
you're
head home.
all right. You're still there on the break room, I guess, right?
Yep.
Oh man, hey, it's a good way to spend time in the
But
break room. I hope I'm not too loud for everybody there at Walmart.
you, you know what's funny, Gene? This country was built by autistic people, and that coming from someone who is actually autistic.
No, it's true. You need the artist and power. It's like if you're talking about like the most, for example, like being an air traffic controller, you need to be an account of so many finite, minute details. It's like playing StarCraft or League of Legends, even though League of Legends is absolute garbage. But regardless, a game where you have to manage multiple factors at once. That's the type of stuff you need for the air traffic controllers, not people who look up. Well, I looked up on Google. If you guys remember that story. Oh man, no, 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 no. Oh man. But anyway, go ahead, David. I'm gonna
Oh,
take a drink here.
funny thing is that I sent you a screenshot of a thing I posted on Facebook, and brain rot idiot responded to it. I covered their name and photo, but you gotta read it. It's funny.
Okay, let me bring that up. Um, Speaking of absolutely off topic, the reason I'm alive today, and not dead is because Notre Dame won yesterday against USC. So I'm gonna drink to that being alive because my fiance is a Notre Dame grad and is a diehard Notre Dame fan. So I'm alive. Sorry to people in California, but it is what it is. So I'm gonna drink to that. There we go. So hooray for Notre Dame. Let me go ahead and look at the chat over here. Just a shout out to my fiance here. Let's see. Where's the
It
I'm
it
looking up over here. What's it called
it
here?
in live stream chat.
Live stream chat from today. Let's go move over
It,
to today. Okay, here we go. Open in browser. Here we go. Good morning. Imagine if our country was designed for people. Yeah, that's the problem. Designed for cars, and you have these ugly roads. Look, this is what I'm talking about. There we go. The gutter walker. That's what you're forced to walk on in the United States. Designed for cars, designed for people. There we are.
and
That's a bike lane. Okay, I can't stand people on bikes that just bike in the middle of the road. No, this is not a serious country. Bikes deserve their own lane off the road.
Demetria, look at the screenshot above it with the guy.
Yeah, with the guy walking in the middle of the median there.
No, scroll up. The response comment.
Okay, I think I have to go up to the next one over here. Let me go to Discord. Response comment.
I
Oh boy. Okay, good thing for putting this in because I'm gonna get back to baseball bat nationalism over here just from hearing stupid comments. Designed to keep you in one place to limit how far one can go or travel. Those 15-minute city plans are an authoritarian dictating plan in disguise. Wait, so you're talking about American cities, how they were designed 100 years ago, or an authoritarian dictating plan? This is so stupid. I mean, I went to Japan, so authoritarian dictating. Yeah, I can walk over to a bullet train, be able to afford it, and go to another city,
like
200 something miles away within less than 2 hours, and be able to walk around over there and come back.
and like this guy. Like, let me be honest. This is some brain rot. This guy this is a 50-year-old right here. This guy is brain dead.
And let's be honest about this, David, is that a lot of these guys, I've met so many of these people, like everybody who was against Brightline, there was not one person under the age of 50 there. And we're talking about even 10 years ago. So that was still, squarely baby boomer. They were all older people who lived on the Treasure Coast and retirement communities, or they had, close to $1 million homes. They were not poor or anything like that. And they were upper middle class or super rich. They owned country clubs or it's just, no, that's no, that's not how it works. There has to be a balance. Okay. And America wasn't built, everything for me. No, America was built on communities and grit.
Like, and literally, like, this guy, when I read a comment, I did not even respond back to it, but I'm going to send this part of the live stream to him, and oh boy.
No, this hold on, wait a second. I have something better to give to him. But let me see if I can find this. YouTube is asking you to know. You said was here we are. This is what you need to say to him. Here we are.
What you
There you
No,
go.
I'm
putting it here.
Part
just
to
said
it. No, I
is
would
one of the
send
most
this part of the
insanely
video
idiotic
to him.
things
Oh
I've ever
boy,
heard.
that would be juicy.
At no point in your rambling,
Like-
incoherent response
It would
were
it
you
would be worth it.
Here, I'm sending you the link right now, David. This is how you have to respond to him.
Oh,
That's it. It's the stupidest thing ever. It's people like that just don't really deserve a response. You cannot change their mind. They're not going to be on your side. It's like talking to an NPC and trying to reason with it. You can't reason with some of these people. Just let it go. It's better for your health, man. Just drop that and move on. We don't have time for this. He doesn't have much time. Let's be honest. Let's work with reality.
like in your team, that was just some brain rot from him, you know.
Absolute and complete brain rot. And people say, I'm being me. No, I'm being realistic. Do you want a country or not? Do you want to live in mediocrity, or do you want to live in an actual serious country? Let's be serious about this. No, he's wrong, and it's not an opinion. It's a fact. He's wrong.
Oh yeah. And speaking of that, you're gonna laugh at it, but I just sent something about hydrogen trains and train being converted into diesel. Like, you gotta read this.
It seems kind of interesting. Let me see. World's largest hydrogen-only line. Let's see. Let's visit the site. Okay. I know I've heard about this before. Yeah, it was Alstom. I think like it was either Stadler or another train company in Europe that was working on this. Train manufacturer Alstom replaced error-prone components in its I-linked vehicles, but has done a disservice to confidence in alternative fuel types, says transit agency RMV. I don't know if that has more to do with hydrogen or that has more to do with Alstom. I'm not quite sure.
But it's so funny in a way because they're this is one proof, but also got some super good news that we did not get you live stream that we should get you right now. The Central Florida with Sunrail plan a major expansion.
You're a lifesaver with all these articles, David. This is why you're the co-conductor here.
Oh yeah, all the way to Coso, and will always be one.
Yep. Central Florida Sunrail plans major expansion. That's good. Expanded train line will connect. Get out of my way, pop-up. Will connect more destinations to the international airport. Another important destination. There you go. More connections through that. That's going to help via Brightline too.
Not
and this is
not
pretty
just
recent.
that, but yeah, only a couple of days ago.
The proposed extension. Let me see. Destination the Orlando area, including the international airport and the city's convention center. There you go. A proposed extension aims to serve up to 6 million riders annually, a leap from current figures. While ambitious, the expense is seen as necessary with projected costs reaching a potential $5 billion on project scope. Yeah, that's $5 billion you don't have to keep wasting every several years on road projects. The plan is to create or expanding lanes, which expands traffic. It doesn't really help. The plan is to create new transit connections for both visitors and local commuters and expand transit use in the region. That's good. That's very good to hear.
And speaking of that, I got another article that goes the complete opposite, where a judge stopped the NIMBYs from stopping CXX from rebuilding their line in North Carolina.
Oh boy, is this the one that got destroyed during Hurricane Helene?
Yep.
Oh man, let me see. Local residents, outdoor enthusiasts says they're heartbroken after alleging a railroad company is significantly harming the Nolichucky River with its post-tropical storm Helene cleanup effort, but a recent development may give them reason to feel uplifted. It's a little confusing here. Okay, November 18th, the Southern Environmental Law Center, on behalf of nonprofits American Whitewater, here we go, filed a lawsuit against 3 federal agencies in the Western District of North Carolina: the U.S. Forest Service, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. The lawsuit alleges that the agencies have allowed a Florida-based railroad company, CSX Transportation, to mine and damage the river as the company works on repairs along a 2.5-mile stretch of gorge that spans between Tennessee and North Carolina. Yeah, how else are they supposed to rebuild the railroad?
And here's the funny thing: the judge threw it out of the window.
Yeah, no,
Judge just threw.
Yeah, and they're probably being really, they're probably exaggerating whatever sort of damage, quote unquote, that CSX is doing. Yes, you have to dig to rebuild stuff. That's how it works. Mining. Well, yeah, like CSX is going to go mining like for copper stuff. There you go. This is the, oh no, they're mining. Look at them. They're digging for gold here. No, they're rebuilding the railroad. Versus what, the amount of damage that's there, or the houses that FEMA is tossing aside and crushing down because you know, they were built by the Amish or stuff like that. No, this is nuts.
And Dimitri, here's the funny part is that, and you're going to laugh at this, is that the judge threw it out of the window.
Good, because that's what it deserves to. It's silly and stupid. No, gone. Good. Thankfully, a judge that actually has some sense. Thankfully. I'm going to bring on a couple people on here.
If people would complain about this, they would not complain about a road, you know?
Yeah, that's silly. What about
like
the roads?
WTF.
Yeah, they're gonna have to rebuild the interstate. Are they gonna complain about the interstate? They're mining to rebuild the interstate. Yes, that's what they do. Anyway, okay, let's bring in let's see, Darius, you're on board. Let me bring in Brightline. You know what? Let's bring in everybody. Everybody's on board. Here we go. Let's have fun.
Yeah, because
Hey yo, what's up, David? We already talked about this.
How are you?
What's up,
Yep.
Ash?
Hey,
What's up, everybody?
oh yeah,
hey, I work in construction, so I see what they're doing. Yeah, you have to dig down.
Yeah, that's
The
how it
river.
works.
And what they're probably going to do is dig at the bottom of the river, dredge it out, use that soil, cheap soil.
Yeah, that's what it is, and then you have to put it back together.
I could reference a flooding problem. Have you heard of the Des Moines River? Cuts right through Iowa.
Listen,
Long
you
ago,
have-
it has been a flooding havoc. And
You
so what
have-
the Army Corps of Engineers did was dig out these huge lakes of recreation to hold all that water. They should do that in North Carolina.
Yeah, to
Dig
have some
out
sort
a
of
huge
retention
lake.
ponds. Yeah.
Yeah, retention pond. Hold all that excess water because it's going to happen again.
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's, I mean, it was built before. I'm pretty sure how they're building it now is going to have less significant damage than, you know, blasting it with dynamite or anything like that. They're actually just, you know, putting it back together.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Anyone remember Lake Mead or Lake Marion?
Is that
Oh,
in
yeah.
California?
We got
Can
a man-made lake
That
here
means
in
it's
South
kind of like
Carolina
an
called Lake
inland sea.
Moultrie.
Can also be used for recreation and sailing.
That's
and
that's
fishing
what
and
their
all that.
common uses are. That's what they use those lakes mostly are for, but they were built for the intention of holding all of the excess water.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah,
sort of
that's
like
the original
reservoir. Yeah.
intention.
Like we have
And
over
And
here.
that's how and all that recreation thing is just their little side benefits.
They are.
It's just
In
it's
fact,
not
like,
the primary. It's not
The sad-
primary.
There is one sad reality though. Under most of your recreational lakes, a town is buried.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's
That's
true. What
true.
was
There's like 7 of them buried under Lake Red Rock.
yeah, like the
The
one in
same with Lake-
California. Yeah, then there's a give and take with that, and you got to find a way to balance out that you're not going to just flood out an entire community, so you can go ahead and give one community water. So there's got to be a way to that it can be done without damaging or like what like Mullahan done with the extra part of the LA the LA canal, not the canal, you know what I'm talking about, the waterway.
Yeah.
Or no man, I'm
Yep,
going blank.
That's yep. They
Okay.
turned that into like a man-made river, basically.
Yeah, and
is
then
what
and
that
then
really
the
is.
one of the one of the dams blew up because they just built it, you know, haphazardly, and it was an absolute disaster. But yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and of course, it's not like everything back that was made 100 and 120 years ago was perfect. Of course, there were, stuff that, happened, but we have modern technology now that can prevent that sort of stuff. So why can't we just build it?
Speaking of that,
That's true.
Dimitri, we had you remember the Amtrak Bloody No Heritage Unit
Yeah.
61? It got
Yeah.
barbecued.
In other
I
words,
think
we
it's
just
John Albert.
in other words, we just have a roasted locomotive for Thanksgiving.
Oh man.
I just
that
did
is
this
the
Where
for
do I
first
pull
time.
out the leg in that one?
Jeez.
Oh,
Like,
man.
Hey, what's for dinner? Roasted locomotive.
Oh,
roasted
Yeah.
42.
We're gonna
What
go
is it?
locomotive hunting.
yeah, you're not gonna have
Bring
iron
it.
deficiency after that one.
Yeah, I have to get the screenshots of it, like Genesis.
Oh
And
man.
like,
I bet you're gonna put the new. I bet you're gonna repaint that
Yikes.
on a newer locomotive.
No, it's a rat rod now.
yeah,
Yeah, that's part of it. Hey,
That
and
was
look,
the,
at
that was
least
the church unit right there.
let's give this thing credit. At least it looks a hell of a lot better than the Big Bend in New York. Okay, the roasted Amtrak train looks a lot better than this piece of garbage. It-
Somebody got to bring the stuffing for that locomotive.
oh man. Shoot. That's okay. So what is the story? What happened to why it burst into flames?
What happened was something set it on fire while we're in the maintenance facility in Washington, D.C.
No, okay. So you mean full on arson?
They are saying that it probably might have been full on arson, but it might have been the catenary because it was in the maintenance facility where they have the catenary.
Yeah, that looks possible too. That's probably the more possible reason as to why, because that is a massive amount of voltage going in, and yeah, it's if it sparks or arcs in such a way, yeah, I can kind of see that.
But
Oof.
they're scrapping the locomotive. A lot of rail fans are upset because it is a heritage unit.
Yeah, this is one of the old GEs. Yeah.
Not just that, but it was the one that celebrated the 50th anniversary. It was one of the 50th anniversary heritage units.
Yeah, well, maybe that can. I don't know. There's got to be some rail museum that's going to take that, and they're going to be able to fix that up because I don't know if Amtrak's going to be able to do that or it's going to want to.
Nope. It totaled, like, it completely totaled. It
Ooh.
melted everything inside.
Okay, well, I guess
Like-
I'll see that in the Beech Grove Amtrak facility at some point because that's where all the broken up Amtrak trains tend to end up here in Indianapolis. I remember the one that
Actually, they're actually scrapping it on the spot. They're scrapping it on the spot.
that could be too. Yeah, I remember the
That's
ones
part of
that
what's gonna happen because you can sell a thing for metal parts and.
there you go. Right, well,
Yeah.
maybe that's what
Make
helps
money off.
Amtrak break even. That'll be
Wow.
it.
Exactly.
Well,
That is,
we-
maybe they'll
I-
probably maybe they'll repaint it on like their new long distance locomotive.
Yeah. Let me see. Somebody asked me
Okay.
here. Adam Bucero, are the Northrop Southern and CSX tracks affected by the hurricane, North Carolina? Yeah, there are still communities that are still messed up over there. You know what sickens me is that there is so much money that is you can come across the border, you'll get food stamps, you'll get you can get to stay at the Roosevelt Hotel in New York City. You get basically a whole free ride. Yet there are people, our own countrymen, that are freezing in the cold in North Carolina and Tennessee and Appalachia right now because the government is refusing to help them or refusing to facilitate any sort of help. You have to have volunteers to come over there with full blankets.
It's the pinnacle exposure of what all these federal government help really is for all the minorities, like these disadvantaged people with high functioning autistic dreamers, as well as here in this country, as well as African
I mean, that's part of it. I
Americans.
mean, yeah, but it's like it's just Americans in general. Just like we're getting shafted. It doesn't matter.
But the minorities, but these minorities are getting hit about a magnitude of 5 times worse.
Okay, if you want to put it
And the
that way,
worst
sure.
part is
But
that
let's,
they were already had enough stigma and disadvantage to begin with.
I get what you're saying, Darius, but let's keep it general and let's stick to the facts over here. Okay, Americans are getting overblown with money that they pay for in taxes in general, but it's like it has to take their own communities, and when their own communities come to help them, I mean, there's a story out of North Carolina that there were houses that were rebuilt by Amish communities that came over there to go ahead and rebuild them, and they were denied entry or destroyed by the local governance over there in North Carolina. Now I don't have the full entire story; I just like saw it through there. But
That's outrageous.
let's put it this way: even if it wasn't true, the fact of the matter is that it's believable, and this a lot of stuff has like this has happened, like the rotor wash from the Army helicopter that was over the holding area for a lot of the supplies, or FEMA denying entry and all that sort of stuff. You know, this is wrong. The whole way this hurricane Helene has been handled, it just says a lot about the way this managerial state is in the United States. I mean, the gun is pointed at the United States citizen in an allegorical sort of way. And, you know, that's the main reason why we can't really build anything, is because the government is against it, and it's against our country.
Always happened, always will be.
Yeah,
The government is ran by rich people. It's a very sad reality.
It's less to do with rich people, dump trucker, because that's the thing. It's like a lot of this stuff that we had before,
And very nonsensical.
yeah, like a lot of the buildings that were built before were built by rich people. I mean, Henry Flagler was one of the richest men on the planet. He was basically the brains behind Standard Oil. And what did he do? He basically built the eastern coast of Florida. He built the overseas his money did. Okay, there were people who built it, and a lot of people, you know, perished on the overseas railroad, you know, but it was his money that facilitated that. So that's the problem, is that the rich people have become that's the thing. It's this whole fallacy of the robber barons, you know, calling these people the robber barons. No, that's a facade. The real robber barons are the ones who are living today. The rich people today are the richest that they've ever been, you know, access to billions of dollars. And it's either that they're not really building anything. It's like, yeah, Elon Musk has built, you know, car factories, and he's given people lots of jobs. But I mean, we're talking about, like, for the average consumer, forget consumer, I hate that flippin' word. The average American cannot afford a Tesla. Okay? The average.
And there's no point in going for those Teslas.
Yeah.
As great as that man is, they don't work up north.
I know.
I live in the cold. We live up in the cold. They wouldn't start.
Oh yeah, well, they wouldn't start because of the infrastructure that was built there, and you have people in lines because they're falling apart. But they work in Norway. Most of the people who drive in Norway are driving Tesla, so we're doing something wrong over here in the United States. But
it'll depend. How cold does it get in Norway?
Dude, it's like Arctic temperatures in Norway. We're talking,
we're
talking about near the Arctic Circle, Scandinavia.
Okay, we're doing something wrong.
We are doing something wrong. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah,
we need more charging stations.
Not more charging stations. We need infrastructure that, you know, if there's going to be a whole number of people going in to charge their cars at the same time, you need to be able to allow that. You know, it's like traffic jams, right? If you have it, if it's too constricted and there's too many, even if you have too many lanes of traffic, the problem is you're having an influx, so much electricity coming through that it's not facilitating that, and we don't have enough supercharging infrastructure, any of that sort of stuff. The country, the country is not ready for it. China was able to build a whole lot of, and that's why they build more. BYD builds more electric cars than Tesla.
Yeah. Don't forget, China does free forced labor.
Oh yeah, let's not forget that either. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I mean,
you're gonna work regardless of pay.
Yeah, or you know, they have factories with the suicide nets, like the iPhone factories and stuff like that. I mean, it's absolutely, you know, freaking nuts. But there are, again, let's be reasonable with things that do work in China, like the high-speed rail systems, or the rail systems that they have, and the metro systems. Those work. And what's the incredible part about it is that they were able to build those in a matter of 2 decades. they built out that country of we're talking about 1.5 billion people. They built that out within 2 decades. You're telling me we can't do that with
They
350
built
million people?
all their materials in that country and made it for themselves. Here, we basically rely on China, which is kind of
Yeah, and that's the sad part about it is that, China's in debt too. Every country's in debt, and China has a lot of debt too. Not probably not as much as the United States. I mean, we just crossed.
No, we
30
owe debt to China.
We owe, in terms of the debt that we owe to China, it's very minuscule compared to the debt that we owe to ourselves, and it's to the Federal Reserve. But the problem is that while we've bought ourselves into debt, we've built nothing of true value in this country. Meanwhile, meanwhile, China has used their debt to build up their country. Who's gonna call on that debt and say, yeah, China, it's time for you to pay? Yeah, okay, go ahead, just march in the country, come take the infrastructure. Who in their right mind is going to do that? That's the thing. China has built, and I don't think anybody's going to really. None of these countries are going to pay any of this debt. I think we're going to see some sort of global crisis where the debt just keeps going up, and just people just like, yeah, that's normal. We'll see. In our lifetimes, we'll probably see $100 trillion of debt. I mean, we are technically the United States as a whole of unrealized debt. We do have $100 trillion of debt, but I'm talking about like that debt clock is going to go to 100 trillion. Guarantee it in our lifetime. It's not going to stop. No matter what Elon Musk or Trump is. Look, it's fantastic. I love the vibe. It's all fun. But I remember what happened. We all got burned the first time around. Maybe he's again, I'm going to be optimistic, but cautious.
Be optimistic, be cautious.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's our job to hold the government to the standard they said they would do.
Yeah, and if not, baseball bats.
Yeah.
No, not baseball bats. Just do.
Right,
if the government does something they said they wouldn't
baseball
do.
bats in Minecraft, everybody. It's baseball bats in Minecraft. I gotta add a little. I gotta add that there. It's in Minecraft. Minecraft servers. Of course, I'm being sarcastic. Okay,
all right.
I don't want to appear like crazed man walks into government building with a baseball. No, that's not going to happen. Come on.
No, that is not what.
Don't be like Bam Brogan, all right? Don't be like Bam Brogan.
We do not stand for violence on this server.
Bam Brogan. Oh, that was funny. Oh, that was an axe in his office. He's hyper loopy. Talk about that, man.
All right.
I'll walk into the government office with a baseball bat. All right, who messed up?
Yeah, let's not get to that point. Okay, I know
all
things
right.
are angering. I know whenever I see that bend, this absolute travesty. It's not even good. It's they just like repeat block. That's all they did. They just copy and pasted the whole way up and then bent it. It's the most low effort piece of. It's a piece of shit. Okay, I'm sorry. Whatever, demonetize me. I don't care. It's a piece of It's a piece of shit.
If you're demonetized, it's okay.
Whatever.
I agree.
I don't do this. I don't do this.
I
for
see
the
the
money.
monetized as a positive because then you can say whatever you want to say.
You guys support this, okay? I don't need YouTube's help or whatever. Well, we kind of do need the algorithm, and the algorithm helps. But we'll keep that for other videos.
All right. Speaking about, excuse me, David Mitchell. Sorry, I wanted to talk.
Oh boy.
Okay.
always
I actually shared a video about the Metro of Santo Domingo. They're actually finishing the viaduct there. On this chat right now.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Are they? And how far are they?
They're actually 90% complete.
Is that
gonna be-
California high-speed rail correct?
No, that's Santo Domingo. That's the Metro of Santo Domingo. They're electrifying the viaduct and they're putting down the rails as we speak.
Okay, that's going faster than California high-speed rail.
Yeah, the Dominican Republic is building faster than California high-speed rail. I'm not at all surprised. Okay, David, did you post about 3 men charged in the theft of Air Jordan shoes from a BNSF train?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh man!
Sorry, what'd you just say?
We're back in the 1800s, boys. We're back in the 1800s.
What
Okay.
did you say? I missed it.
I'm just not going to say anything more. 3 men charged in the theft of Air Jordan shoes from a BNSF train.
What?
Yes, 3 men have been charged with a pair of felonies after allegedly stealing more than $300,000 worth of Air Jordan shoes from a BNSF train stopped in the Mojave Desert.
Of all things, why Jordan shoes?
This is the weirdest New Vegas side quest ever.
You have every shoe pair in the entire world on that train, and you go with Air Jordan?
I'm not gonna say anything else anymore because if I do, I'm gonna get kicked off of YouTube.
Sneaker slip-ons.
Oh
Okay,
man,
Florida.
this is just nuts.
That's a Florida man. That's a Florida man-esque article right there.
That's. Oh man, but yeah, no, this
If you're
is.
gonna steal a train, you might as well take it for a ride.
Anyway, all right. Okay, let's see if we can start winding this down. It's 9:52. I'm getting tired. I'm pretty sure my fiance's tired of hearing me scream. But here, Star Force 97. Here we go. I'm not screaming. I'm just loud.
Here, Jerry. That's my voice in
What's
real
up,
life.
Star Force?
It's the Spanish and Italian genes talking. So anyway, what's up, Star Force?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm good, man. It's been a night. I hope it was fun for everybody.
Yeah. I actually looked at some of the Brightline, got caught up with some of the Brightline West updates, and hard to believe that we're actually over 6 months now, if not getting towards 8 months since the first nails were put in for the high-speed track in the Mojave Desert.
Yeah, it's a watershed moment. Yeah, it could be built.
Oh, you know
Stealing Air.
what's gonna be funnier?
I hope that I could be stealing Air Jordans on Brightline.
Hey, you know what's gonna be funnier? Is that's gonna get done faster than California high-speed rail.
Oh yeah, no, it is, and I know we've made that point so many times, but I mean, it's hilarious, but we know it's gonna happen. That's the sad part.
At what point do they just shut down California high-speed rail and turn it into a commuter line or a regional?
Oh boy.
I don't
No,
know.
'cause
It's just
obviously.
Yeah, with the amount of time that California high-speed rail constructs its new high-speed rail line, the Dominican Republic would actually build about like 52 transit lines, or less than that.
And they did about 52 train lines to one.
Yeah.
I mean, forget even just the Dominican Republic. I mean, post-war Japan, a country that was completely bombed to hell. I mean, they took 2 nuclear bombs, and forget that, but the firebombing of Tokyo destroyed about more than half the city. And like more than about 120,000 people dead. And they were able to... Yeah, and within 20 years of that happening, not even 20 years of that, they were able to build a 125-mile-an-hour train, research and design within 6 years, 1958 to 1964. 125 miles an hour between Tokyo and Osaka. That's nuts.
They probably planned that well ahead and didn't build on that line, on that section where they built the line.
Well, I mean, they built an entirely new infrastructure for it because Tokyo and Japan used narrow gauge railway and they used standard gauge for this. So that's why the name Shinkansen, it literally translates to new trunk line, Shinkansen. But the whole point of it is that they were able to build like something completely new, and we can't do this. It's taken us to 2024. Almost. Well, technically it took us to 2021 before Brightline got to 125 miles an hour, or you can say the Acela. Okay, fine. Let's say the 1990s, okay? But it's just still, I mean, why did it have to take that long? Why did it have to take 30 plus years? 40 years?
You have to deal with all the red tape in order to build something in this country.
Yeah, and
listen, if there were no red tape, things would have been built pretty much faster than they are now.
True.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about when it comes to like the rich back then. That's why, a better term for the rich back then is captains of industry. I mean, Robert Barron's is a projection from the rich. Well, you think, Jeff Bezos. All he's building around is a whole bunch of Amazon facilities everywhere. Yeah, that's good and all, for the low-paying jobs that he's getting. But is he actually like building like Carnegie? We're talking about a poor kid out of Scotland, coming over, becoming one of the richest men on the planet, making, steel, built libraries, built universities. They're still standing there. Beautiful testaments to the love and passion for this country and the people who live in this country. That's what I'm talking about. Like that, it has to be a part that's not just building something, but like the spiritual part of it. That's like, something that touches your soul, building something beautiful that just is a testament to the grit and beauty that this country can achieve.
Speaking that, you're going to laugh at this. A friend of mine was talking about this. The airlines try to hire the Pinkertons.
Yeah, that's the funny thing. The Pinkertons still exist. Speaking of the turn of the century, Gilded Age, the Pinkertons.
Like, the fact that stuff is still around and they should not be, like, hell, the crimes that they have committed, they should be shut down.
I mean, compared to the FBI and the CIA now, David, I mean,
the
Pinkertons are kind of a small fry compared to what the FBI in this country has done. Let's be kind of real about that. It's we've gone the Pinkertons did some pretty bad stuff 100 years ago, but we're talking about like right now, like the FBI is going into like people's homes. It's like, oh, you protested, peacefully. Time to bring you out of your home.
The right to peaceful protest.
Forget that. I mean, they're tapping all the phone lines and everything like that. It's a complete breach of privacy everywhere. The FBI, NSA, CIA, whatever the hell it is, Five Eyes, DHS, whatever. Exactly.
FBI, if you're listening to this, we are not discussing any evil plans.
We just want a country that works. Come on.
We're just talking about stuff.
Oh, man.
The funny is, I'm going to bring it. The funny thing is that the.
Okay, 2-minute warning, guys. 2-minute warning. Let's be fair. 2-minute warning.
Hey, ACB is willing to come on board.
Okay, we're cutting close out of time, man. But I mean, we see. All right, fine. Come on in. There we go. We got 2 minutes, guys. Last words.
Welcome aboard, ACB.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Welcome aboard, man.
Thank you. Since we're talking about how our country and just the way things are with society right now, a little insight with in regards to, let's just say, a particular event a few years ago, J6. All those cases are about to get tossed out.
Oh, I was about to bring that up too, bro.
I think they were, but now it's going to be on a case-by-case basis.
There's some people who think that the Capitol building is the shining beacon of hope, but that's not the shining beacon of hope. That's a brothel that sold us to another world war.
I mean, and let's be honest, like the amount of damage that was done. I mean, that's an insurrection. I mean, you look at Latin America; they'll show you what an insurrection is. I mean, come on, look at what they're doing in Europe. I mean, every time there's a farmers' protest, they're throwing literal feces on they're complaining about like they're complaining about some guy like spraying a little bit of crap on the walls of the Capitol. We're talking about like full-on manure being industrially sprayed out of tractors. Give me a break.
Industrially dumped. Literally.
Yeah, never forget Peanut and Fred. Heartless Fiend in the comment. Worse than anything the Pinkertons have ever done is what was done to Peanut the squirrel and Fred the raccoon. That pales in comparison to anything the Pinkertons have ever done. Full stop.
I agree with that.
And that's my birth state. Ugh.
Oh, man. But anyway, guys. All right, it's 10:01. We're going to call it a day here, but this was pretty cool. I'm glad you guys were able to come on and just have this time here, because this was there's some pretty good ideas going around.
Thanks for having
You gotta have a Christmas You gotta have a Christmas time live stream, Demetrius.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have plenty of Christmas time live streams. Believe me,
yeah,
it's gonna be
I
fun.
should be off work by then.
We forgot to mention
technically
about.
Advent and then Christmas time. We're gonna have Christmas
speak-
doesn't end until February 2nd. Okay, that is a decree. February 2nd is when you can take down the Christmas stuff.
Sounds
I
cool to me.
say after. I say after New Year's Day, after New Year's. just
It's
take it all
technically
down.
it's in the church. It's technically Candlemas, and that's like that's like the ending day for the Christmas festivities.
Doesn't
But-
that kind of
For us, it
doesn't that
starts-
kind of like correspond with Imbolc? With Imbolc and the pagan festivals of Imbolc,
Okay, we're not gonna even go.
which is the start of
We're not gonna
pagan.
get
We're
into
not,
that.
we're not getting into that. No,
We're
no, we're not
just
getting
some
into that. All right, guys.
But I
This
like
was-
how
this-
some places have
This was
Christmas
fun.
decorations up
This was
year
fun.
round.
Look, we can all agree no Christmas until after Thanksgiving. Okay, if I see
Yes.
Christmas decorations during
Oh.
Halloween, baseball bat. That's it.
Oh, oh shit!
Baseball
Oh,
bat.
shit.
No.
In the
Oh,
clear,
oh,
we're in the
oh,
clear
come
now.
on.
Santa has to wait until the Thanksgiving Day parade. Then you can go ahead and put on the Christmas decorations. No,
I saw on
Demetrius,
Amazon
Demetrius,
and it was
We're doing
Santa
that
laying
last
on the
week with my
ground
family.
with the turkey on
Bruh.
top holding a sign that says, "Not your turn. Wait your turn, fatty."
yeah, that meme. Yeah, that's exactly that. Exactly. Alrighty,
here's
guys.
the thing.
Hold up, Saint Nick.
Let's end it
Hold
here.
up.
Let's end it
Wait your
here.
turn, daddy.
This has been a good
what
time.
an irony that
Thank you for coming on. No,
when my
thank-
parents say to make more,
There's
that
gotta- there's
when
gotta be a
people
mute all. Guys,
who
guys.
take it out right after Halloween or just before
Guys.
to make more
Guys.
use of it,
guys,
Guys.
I'm gonna mute the whole entire.
or
There's gotta be a
actually
mute all button.
make it more.
Where's the mute all
They're
button?
make it more generic so that.
All right, there we go. Okay, thank you all for coming on board. Thank you all for joining on here. This has been
Check
a
out
wonderful
his
time.
YouTube. Check out his Twitter.
Thank you. Just subscribe, like the video, check
Comment
out
down
our X,
below.
Twitter. Yes, and comment down below. Thank you for adding on that. Okay, guys, we will see you all next time. Thank you all for joining and enjoy the festivities. Enjoy it all. It's a wonderful place, wonderful time. Take care. Godspeed.
No, no, no,
Goodbye.
no, 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 no.
Hey, 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 hey. Goodbye.
Good.